Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm real estate agent Richard Salter from the Salter Group at Compass. Today I'm here overlooking the Coleridge Country Club to interview Derek Fertig, Senior Vice President from Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. I've been referring Derek to my customers for many years now. They're such an awesome company. I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to learn more about the business and what they have to offer. So thanks for spending time with me today, Derek. And we'll start off with, how long have you been in the mortgage industry and why did you choose that profession?
Been in the mortgage business for almost 20 years. And I didn't really choose the mortgage business. I don't really know many people that actually choose the mortgage business. It kind of chooses them. Truth of the matter is, I had a buddy that was in this business, and I was working up in the DC area in the Pentagon, and just going nowhere really. He was down here, and he looked like he was doing pretty well for himself, as most people appear to be doing in the 2003, 2004 range. And had a bad day at work, and called him, asked him if he was for sure. He was trying to get him moved down here for a year. I asked him if he was pretty certain he could get me a job. He said yes. So I went in and I asked my boss. I said, hey, I've got this opportunity in Florida. It's not in the, I was in the IT space. I said, it's not in the IT space, so I'm not going to a competitor, but I feel I need to take this opportunity. If for whatever reason it doesn't work out, would you hire me back? He goes, of course. So I said, all right, I quit. So I put in my 2-week notice, and 2 weeks later I was down here and in the mortgage game.
Great, I'm glad you are.
Me too.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what Fairway does, their services, and what loan packages they have to offer.
Fairway is probably the biggest mortgage company that you've never heard of. We are, I think, it may have changed since last year, but I'm certain that we were the #2 purchase lender in the entire country last year, behind only Quicken, who is the behemoth in the space. We offer all types of loans. I mean, all, your standard first-time home buyers, your 50th time home buyers, conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans, USDA loans, renovation loans, jumbo loans, bank statement loans, foreign national. It's the only thing that our company does is mortgages. So, and it's not a knock on anybody else, but other companies and other banks offer many other services, student loans, business loans, credit cards, car loans, what have you. All that we do is mortgages. So that's our entire space.
So bottom line, Fairway can provide any kind of loan for the purchase or refinance of a home.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So an issue I'm having in this crazy buyer's market seller's market, I'll correct myself there, is there are so many showings when a home comes on the market, there's multiple offers, and quite often the seller will select a cash offer.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to counteract that at Fairway?
Yeah. So what we have is what's called the Fairway Advantage that Richie lost his cue card. The Fairway Advantage pre-approval, and essentially what that is a standard mortgage process is that when somebody's interested in purchasing a home and they want to find out what they can qualify for, or what payments would be, or how much money they have to come up with at closing, and they normally go through the pre-approval process, and they speak to somebody like myself, or they speak to somebody on our team, or any originator in the business. And they go through that whole process. And what ends up happening is that some of the documents are collected up front. We run a credit report. We try the best that we absolutely can to verify what we think all the applicable documentation would be up front, make sure that their income looks good, make sure that if they say that they're using a fictitious number, but $50,000 down, that they actually have $50,000. So we don't send them out, with a knife to a gunfight. And then away they go. A guy like you gets them a house and puts them under contract, and then we normally have a conversation on Monday morning, and you say, hey, I put Bob, they're buying XYZ property, and we start the process. And only then does it go to underwriting. So what we can do is we can kind of reverse that process. And what we'll do is we'll underwrite all of that up front. What's nice is having it reviewed is better than nothing, but at the end of the day, I'm not an underwriter. I'm not a credit decision maker. I'm using experience to tell me what can and can't be done. But an underwriter at the end of the day is going to be the decision maker on actually approving and granting the loan. So what we'll do is we'll have all of that knocked out up front. So we'll have all of their income cleared, we'll have all of their assets cleared, all of their credit cleared. So really the only thing that's needed is an appraisal, if one is even needed, because we're seeing more and more appraisal waivers today. But essentially, in theory, what we'll for sure need is insurance, make sure that the property is insurable, and we're going to need clear title. So the title company's going to have to pull a title commitment. That takes a couple of days. So what we're able to do is to compete with cash is essentially show the seller that all of this has been knocked out, and we'll give them a close on time guarantee. So we'll wrap it up and say 10 days or 14 days, and then we'll sweeten the pot because we're so confident that they've already been through the entire underwriting process that we'll offer like a $5,000 spiff. If for whatever reason we don't close, when we say that we're going to close, we'll incentivize the seller by paying them $5,000 as an inconvenience for not hitting that date. And so in theory, this is where your expertise comes in. I don't sell real estate for a living, but if you're looking at $100,000 offers, which has the potential to make you the most money, if this person has all this done and for whatever reason they don't close on time, I could potentially get $105,000 for the house. The worst case scenario is that they are going to close on time for me, sometimes faster, and they may not be looking for a discount because they're not paying cash. They just have an ultra competitive offer. So hopefully that makes sense.
Sounds great. And I've got someone in mind that would love that program, so might send you referrals. So yeah, a lot of these loan packages, seem very similar between the banks and the brokers. So why should somebody come to Fairway and not go to another lender? What makes Fairway stand out?
That's a really good question. I think that what separates companies like Fairway and specifically Fairway, is that it's really our speed. Since everything is predicated around, especially in this market, I'm trying to think kind of outside of the box and not give you a standardized kind of sales pitch answer, but looking at what's happened the last 20 months realistically since COVID has come upon us, and you know this, it's the most competitive market that really anybody that's in the business has ever seen. So what people are needing now more than ever is they need speed and they need certainty. Talking to the team and talking to other agents like yourself, you guys are working your tails off on the front end. It's a lot of work to get somebody under contract. You're having to make your client look the best that they possibly can and separate them head and shoulders from 5, 10, 15 other offers, only to find out 3 or 4 weeks later that maybe the property is appraising significantly lower than what they've agreed to pay for it, and they don't have a bridge or they don't have the cash to make up the difference because the seller's not willing to accept less. God forbid there's something that comes up from an income perspective or a credit perspective. You guys are waiting 3 weeks, 4 weeks to find out, and you guys think that you're closing, and then kind of a week beforehand or 3 days beforehand, the sheet gets pulled out from underneath you. Yeah, and it tarnishes your credibility. Your reputation helps you sell more homes. Especially if anybody that potentially watching this, as is with any business, it's built on the foundation of relationships. So if you have you're batting 1,000 and you have a relationship with another really good realtor in the neighborhood here, and they've enjoyed doing business with you in the past, and you said, hey, my track record is 100, that I'm bringing you a solid client here, we're going to close, and then they don't close, it's a ding on your scorecard for the next time that you go to do business with that agent. So where we excel is really speed. In a situation like that where you just discussed the Fairway Advantage pre-approval, that's the fastest that's out there. So it's going to bring more certainty quicker in the transaction. Sometimes you can't control what you can't control. You can't control an appraisal coming in low. But what you would want to know is faster in the process, not 3 weeks in the process, a month in the process. Right. If you've got a potential issue that might have the deal see its way apart, you're not, you're having the mutual respect for that other realtor of like, hey, I'm getting this, we're getting as much news as we possibly can, as fast as we possibly can. Not, I don't really know, I can't get in touch with anybody. So I think there's that, and I think that there's the communication. we over communicate, if anything. Our team specifically, we provide updates twice a week, which I don't know anybody else that does that. And we proactively, anytime anything moves forward, we provide that update as well. So there's a lot less free time on your hands and clients' hands, to where it seems to relieve stress when updates are flowing to them and they're not feeling like they have to chase people down to get an answer. They're proactively being communicated with.
It's funny you should say that. I was going to mention communication, because I've had other realtors say to me how great the communication is from Fairway. So I was going to say that even if you didn't. All right, so we're here in Coral Ridge. We both live in Coral Ridge. We're neighbours here in the neighbourhood. So this is for a community website. So is there a business or service in the neighbourhood you'd like to recommend to people?
Yeah, so I've got 2 small kids. We find ourselves ordering out probably a lot more than we otherwise would like. We had a conversation before we started doing the interview about, it's Dal Contadino. That's one of our favorites. But in a pinch, we really like Sicilian Oven. High quality food. It seems reasonably priced. Everybody there is really nice to deal with, and every single time we order from there, it's just good.
Yep, very consistent.
Yeah, consistent. I like that.
Yeah, and you might find me there on a Thursday when the cocktails are half price on a Thursday.
You might find me there now too on Thursday. I didn't know they were half price.
$7. All right, Derek. Thanks for everything.
Appreciate it, man.
And we'll talk soon.
All right.
Bye bye.